Hi guys, welcome back to the Early Bird Photo News. Sometimes you're just not lucky. I'm sure you guys can relate. I just came back from the forest photographing with the Z9 600mm TC lens and I did not see a single bird. So frustrating. I guess that's nature in the end, but every time it happens, I'm still not very happy about it. Fortunately, I've been able to take out this amazing combination every day in the field for the last week and I've been getting some very nice results. This lens with the built-in extender is obviously amazing because it's so much easier to switch from 600 to 840mm by just flicking a button or switch compared to actually having to change out teleconverters. So this lens I'm very much in love with and it has given me some nice images. There's obviously a few things here and there that I will discuss in my full review that I'm not super stoked about, but all in all I had a lot of fun with this lens so far and I'm looking forward to spending more time with it in the field. When it comes to the Z9 camera, I'm also quite happy with it. It always takes me a little bit of time to get used to it and it's kind of complicated to set up and to use, but I've found a few ways to set it up now that work quite well for me. What I find the most difficult about the Z9 in the field is that you have to use 2 to 3 different autofocusing modes to actually be able to focus in all situations. This is a little bit easier on other manufacturers, but I've found a way to set it up now that I can get also some pretty good results. Once it's set up right, it performs very well. It's definitely far improved from the camera that I used last year with the earlier firmware version. So firmware 3.1 is really performing well for me in the field and I'm looking forward to sharing a full video review with you guys very soon as well. Are there any things that you guys want me to test out or try out in the field with this amazing lens and the Z9? Let me know down there in the comments. For the YouTube video I posted last Sunday, I needed to re-edit my friend's unfortunate 500mm accident. One of his tripod legs was loose, so the tripod leg gave in, the camera fell over, hit the ground and broke in half. Not a good start to the morning, let me tell you that, and a bad end to the trip overall, but surprisingly it actually wasn't too much of an expensive fix and Canon got it repaired pretty quickly. I don't know if they just super glued it together, but it was repaired and working well again. Anyhow, the original image was taken on an iPhone 4S and was only 960 pixel wide, but I needed it much larger for the cover and especially for the higher 4K resolution in the video. So I thought, why not give Topaz Gigapixel AI another crack? So I downloaded the latest version, ran this image through it, and I was amazed. I actually got it up to a size of over 5,000 pixels and the image quality was really good. The original image isn't even fully sharp and the upsized gigapixel image with the low res mode actually looks really nice, really sharp and fantastic overall. So I was very impressed. So now I had a large file, but I still thought it didn't look quite right. So I did a few tweaks and I replaced the sky to make it look a bit more interesting and then got this final result you can see on the screen now. And if you guys want to learn all about image editing and getting the best results possible for your own images, make sure to check out my PROSETS and Masterclass down there in the description. I know they will help you tremendously to improve your own editing skills and get much better results. In the past, when I have been using Topaz Gigapixel AI on bird photos, I kind of had mixed results, but this latest version seems to work much better. What are your experiences with that program? Have you tried it? Have you had good results or bad results? It's been a few weeks now that we talked about in news that there will be no R1 and no R5 Mark II in 2023 and that we will see instead some awesome telephoto zooms and a big firmware update for the R5. At this stage, I don't really have much new updates for you guys, but I'm hopeful that over the next few days, I will hear some more news and I will share it with you guys the moment I hear it. When it comes to the new firmware, we haven't heard too much about the specs coming to the R5 either, but one of them seems to be pixel shift, where the camera takes 9 photos and moves the sensor around slightly, so we actually have a 400 megapixel file in the end. While that's pretty cool, the use in the field is obviously quite limited because you need a completely static subject. The moment the subject moves and the camera keeps still taking images, it probably just ends up being a mess, but having a 400 megapixel file, even though limited, is pretty cool, I'd say. I've also been reading that Canon wants to introduce the eye control from the R3 into other Canon R mirrorless bodies. What do you guys think about that? Personally, I must say I don't find the eye control very useful in the R3 at all. When I tried it out a few times, it just focused all over the place and I couldn't really get it to work well, and you had to recalibrate it every time you wanted to use it pretty much. So while it sounds pretty cool, it just didn't seem to work for me in the field because I tend to look around when I photograph a lot, and then whenever I looked around, the camera kind of moved the focusing point around as well, and it was just a big mess in the end, so I turned it off pretty quickly. Have any of you used it successfully, or are you using it at the moment? Let me know. My R6 review has been delayed a little bit because I've been distracted with this awesome Nikon gear, but I'm still planning to get it out this weekend. I'm looking forward to sharing it with you and hearing your guys' thoughts about that camera as well. Because I must admit that now that I don't have the camera anymore, there's certainly a few features that I definitely miss about it. Having used the Z9 in the field a lot now, there's one feature that I love about it, and that's if you attach an external HDMI recorder, it does not disable the viewfinder. Because when I film and do reviews for you guys, I want to show you the EVF as well, see all the autofocusing point and show you exactly what I'm seeing as well. On the Z9, that's super easy because I can just attach the recorder and still look through the viewfinder. On all Canon cameras, if I attach an external HDMI recorder, it disables the viewfinder, which is super mega annoying. And I really don't know why Canon is doing that. When doing my equipment reviews and filming in the field, I always come home with an unholy amount of footage. The other day, after 3 to 4 days in the field, I came home with over 20,000 images and almost 3 terabytes of footage in total. So that obviously takes big strain on my hard drives. What I usually do, I buy one of these external RAID enclosures. They allow me to put 4 hard drives in here, and I set it up as a RAID 1 and 0 or RAID 10. And I have 2 drives for storage and the other 2 for redundancy. So yesterday I bought 4 22 terabyte hard drives and another one of these QNAP TR004 RAID enclosures. And I plan to set it up the same way, so I will have about 40 terabytes of storage in the end. So while storage is very expensive and tedious to use, and it's not very fun to look at your archive and make sure it's all backed up and safe, you know what's even worse? Losing all your images. So I think it's worth to spend some time and money on making sure that you have a good backup system and that all your files are safe. That's why I always have 2 to 3 copies of all my files in different locations. For editing on the road, I'm mainly using these small SSD drives. These are 4 terabyte WD drives, and I use them for downloading the photos, backup, and editing for my video files. So I have my video files on there, and they're fast enough on my MacBook Pro to be actually editing from those hard drives. So I'm pretty happy with them. And I also wanted to buy some new ones. I was looking at the SanDisk Extreme Pro drives because there's some faster ones and they seem to be more waterproof and sort of fall proof. But then I was reading the reviews on BH Photo Video, and they didn't seem to be very good, with a lot of people having issues of the drives failing. Do you own any of those SanDisk Extreme Pro drives? Have you had any issues? Have the drives failed on you? Because the last thing I want to do is buy hard drives that will actually fail on me. So maybe I just have to stick to these, but I thought something that's a little bit more weatherproof would be good in the field. But if they actually fail, then they're no good. So if you have any experience with them, let me know. I'd love to hear about it. Why don't you guys check out some of my other videos now, and I head back into the field and continue to film my reviews. So enjoy your day. I'll see you next time, and now's also a good time to subscribe to the channel. Bye guys!